Hello all, very good morning. So in yesterday's part I have discussed regarding the aneurysm. So we have seen the definition of aneurysm and we have seen the classification of aneurysms and we have seen various types of aneurysms based on location, based on their shape and based on their size and what are their complications. And we have also seen the pathophysiology of these aneurysms. And now in this class I would like to discuss you regarding the diagnosis part, medical management, surgical management and nursing management. So coming to the diagnosis part, firstly we will go for the history collection. So after the history collection we will go for physical examination. So here in case of abdominal aortic aneurysm, so with palpation, with pulsation, mass in the middle of patient's abdomen, you can identify that the aorta is present, and you can also hear the bruits. So whenever you are placing your stethoscope on the aneurysm, you can hear the bruit sound, and also you can see the blue toy syndrome, and patients may have hypotensive and even clam and quiet extremities. You can feel them when the aneurysm has been ruptured. So this is the physical examination. Nextly we will go for the x-ray. In x-ray you can find out whether there is any abnormal widening of aorta or widening of mediastinum. You can clearly see. So you can see here in the picture here. So here a plain x-ray of abdomen which is showing the calcification of wall of abdominal aortic arch of aorta. So you can see here there is calcification that is present. So this is the x-ray. And nextly ultrasonography. So in ultrasonography you can find out. So this is very useful for screening the aneurysm. So serially you will monitor the aneurysm size here. CT angiography, so it will give you more clear visualization of this aneurysm. So most accurate test. So this is also called as gold standard. So it is used to determine the anterior to posterior length of the cross section diameters in the presence of thrombus in aneurysm. Coming to the MRI, this is also very useful in detecting the aneurysm. So this is used to assess the location and severity of aneurysm. Coming to the management of aneurysm, so here mainly we want to prevent them from the rupturing. So here for small aneurysms that are less than 4 centimeters, we are giving them the conservative therapy here. So coming to the conservative therapy, what we will do means we will do risk factor modification, we will decrease the blood pressure, and we will monitor the aneurysm size for every 6 months using the ultrasonography or MRI or CT scan. So based on that we will monitor the patient and we will manage the patient with aneurysm. Coming to the indications of surgery, so if it is for aortic aneurysm, so if there is persistent pain, if there is aortic valve involvement, if there is coronary artery involvement and the diameter is more than 5.5 centimeters or greater than 5 centimeters per year, and the patients who are not having any kind of comorbidities, we can go for the surgery. And if the patients are symptomatic, they should undergo aneurysm resection regardless of. So if there are if the patients are showing any kind of symptoms, so regardless of size, regardless of shape, the patient has to undergo the aneurysm resection, so that the patient will be saved from rupturing and he can be saved from the death also. In emergency operation, it is indicated in the setting of acute rupture. So mainly in case of if the aneurysm has been ruptured, if it is an acute position, then you can go for the emergency operation. So these are all some of the indications for the surgery of aortic aneurysm. So firstly, endovascular graft procedure. So what is this endovascular graft procedure means? It is an alternative to conventional surgery repair. So here what we are doing a sutureless aortic graft in the abdominal aorta inside the aneurysm. So we are going through the femoral artery and we are mainly doing this procedure. So here a graft is delivered predominant point. So as we have seen, I will show you what is this endovascular repair. Now we'll see what is this endovascular repair, graft repair, what they are doing. So if there is aneurysm present, what we are doing, we are entering into the artery through femoral artery and we are placing a stent or meshwork over there. What it will do, it will help the blood to flow through the mesh but not to go on the weakened part of the artery. Ultimately you can decrease the blood pressure over the blood vessel and slowly it will come down. So this is one of the treatment that is used, endovascular grafting. So once the graft is delivered in the point, so the graft is pressed, or sometimes we are implanting the graft against the blood vessel. So as we have seen the picture over there, so suppose this is the blood vessel, we are placing the mesh. So what we are doing, we are placing the mesh over here. So you just think this blue color it as a mesh. So this mesh will provide what it will do, it will help the blood to flow through the mesh, but this mesh will provide protection to the weakened part of the artery. Ultimately it will have some time to heal and it can regain its position. So this is the endovascular graft procedure. So nextly we have open surgical repair. So open surgical repair means directly we are opening the particular part where there is problem and we are trying to repair the particular part. So it require longer recovery time and it require longer hospital stay, and 90% you will have long term success and 90% you will have long term success, and younger patients are typically involved for this open surgical repair. Coming to the endovascular artery, coming to the endovascular graft repair. So here it requires very short length of stay. So since you are not opening any part, you are just going through the femoral artery and you are going to the particular part where the artery has been affected, and there you are keeping the mesh and you are coming out. So there will be reduction in the blood loss. So IC utilization is very reduced. You will have reduced mortality and morbidity rate. Older patients are typically used here. It needs long term follow up and may need secondary procedures for end leak. So if there is any kind of end leak, you may need secondary procedures. So this is EVAR, endovascular graft repair. So benefits and complications of this endovascular repair are, so it decreases the anesthesia and operation time, and there will be very minimal blood loss and there will be very minimal incision, and there will be decreased mortality and morbidity, and the hospital stay also will be reduced, and recovery time is very quick, and cost reduction will be very more. So the more cost, it does not need more amount of money. Coming to the complications, there are more chances for aneurysm to rupture, and even though the graft is placed, there are chances of perigraft leak, and there will be aortic dissection, and there will be sometimes aortic dissection. There are more chances for dislocation and embolization, and renal artery occlusion may occur due to graft immigration. So these are all some of the complications that are there with the endovascular repair. Coming to the surgical management, here we'll do clipping of aneurysm, and we'll do wrapping aneurysm, we'll do coiling aneurysm, and we'll do endovascular graft procedure. So you have seen what is this endovascular graft procedure. Now I would like to show you what is this clipping aneurysm. So in this clipping aneurysm, if you see, this is the most common treatment that is mainly used for the cerebral aneurysms or berry aneurysms. What we will do, so in brain aneurysm, what is happening? So in brain aneurysms, what is happening? The artery is like this. Sorry. So in brain aneurysms, what is happening? The artery is like this. So at the junction of the artery, we are having this berry type of aneurysm. So here, if you keep a clip, so with the surgical procedure, they are going through the particular area and they are keeping a clip at the neck of the aneurysm. So what it will do, it will prevent the entry of blood into the particular sac-like structure. And when there is so once you have kept the clip, so there is no blood loss that is occurring into the aneurysm, and here you can reduce the risk for bleeding, and more often the aneurysm which is developed due to the lack of blood supply, it will come down and the person can be saved. So once the aneurysm is clipped, it remains in place for lifetime, and the aneurysm will sink, scar down and permanently after the clipping. So as I have said, so here, once if you are clipping the aneurysm, it will remain for the lifetime. So as the days pass, the aneurysm will shrink, it will scar down, and the it will scar down permanently after the clipping has done. So this is the clipping of aneurysm. Coming to the wrapping, so you can see here how the clip is placed. So in the neck of the aneurysm we are keeping the clip. Coming to the wrapping, so it is mainly done for fusiform aneurysm. So you cannot directly clip in fusiform aneurysm. If it is a sac-like structure, see, if it is a sac-like structure, you can just clip down the aneurysm here. If it is a fusiform, means here the bulging is occurring around the artery. So during this time you cannot clip here, right? So you need some wrapping. So what we'll do, we'll use some biologic or synthetic wrap mainly to prevent the rupture and to provide strength for the particular artery. Nextly, coiling of aneurysm. So what we are doing means, so here also we are introducing a catheter through the femoral artery, and it is threaded up to the cerebral blood vessel. So here the platinum coil is attached to a thin wire and it is inserted into the catheter and it is placed in the aneurysm until the aneurysm is filled with the coil. So it packs mainly in the aneurysm and it prevents the circulation through the aneurysm, and it will also reduce the risk of rupture. So it is mainly used to occlude the aneurysm. So here the coils are made of soft sprinklage platinum. So what they will do, for example I am saying, so suppose this is the aneurysm, they will send the coil through the femoral artery and the coil will fold up in such a way, so that what it is doing, it is occupying the space. So once it is occupying the space, no blood can enter here. So ultimately the blood supply is decreased and it will shrink down. So here the softness of the platinum allows the coil to assume the shape of the irregular shape. So once the blood supply is stopped, ultimately the aneurysm will cut down and you can prevent the aneurysm from rupturing. So because of the softness that is present in this platinum shaped material, irrespective of shape, even if it is like this or if it is like this, because of the softness the coil will go and it will form its shape. So this is the coiling of aneurysm. Coming to the nursing management, so the types of nursing diagnosis that you can write in this disease are mainly increased cardiac output related to the changes in intravascular volume or hemorrhage. So here decreased cardiac output related to intravascular changes that are mainly related to the hemorrhage. So as evidenced by monitoring vital signs, and we have obtained information regarding the back or abdominal pain. So this is the diagnosis that you can write. So what are all the interventions you have to monitor? What are all the interventions? You have to monitor the vital signs regularly. You have to reduce the pain of the patient. You have to try to control the internal bleeding, and you have to prepare for the surgery if it is needed. And nextly, the possible diagnosis that the patient will have is anxiety related to fear and death, sudden onset of illness as evidenced by increased alertness and restlessness. So what you have to do, you have to explain the procedure to the patient in simple words, and you have to reduce unnecessary external stimuli so that the patient remains cool and calm and he can be saved. And nextly, third point, what you can do, deficit knowledge related to newly intended need for aortic surgery. So preoperatively and post-operatively. And third diagnosis which you can write is deficit knowledge. So which is related to the surgery. It can be preoperative or it can be post-operative, related to newly identified need for aortic surgery as evidenced by patient verbalization. So what you have to do, you have to instruct the patient. What they have to do preoperatively and post-operatively. So not to lift any kind of weight objects about 6 to 12 weeks after the surgery, and you have to teach the client regarding the importance of wound care. So all these are some of the nursing diagnosis and nursing interventions that you can use in this aneurysms. So not only this, these diagnoses can be used in different diseases also based on the need. You can use this diagnosis. So cardiovascular diseases, most often they will have these type of nursing diagnosis only. You can write them in a simple words. So with this, I would like to end the session here. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the content, please like, share and subscribe the channel, and if you have any queries, please drop them in the comment box. Hope you understood the class. Thank you. Thanks for watching.